Hello fellow fic writers! Kudos for clicking on this video. My name is Cora and I'm here to help you write and post your dream fanfiction. So you're typing away at your story, a captivating tale that you cannot wait to share with others, but then that sinking feeling creeps in. Your writing is boring, trite, cringe, and if someone else reads this, they will know and make sure you know it too. Your fingers slow to a stop on your keyboard. What's the point? You'll never be good enough. You close the document, and forever it will rot with the rest of your abandoned stories. We've all been through something like this, and if you're watching this video, that means you're ready to push back against the cycle of insecurity. I'll be sharing the strategies and mindsets I've used to build confidence and security in myself as a writer, and how you can do the same.
Hey everyone, just a quick disclaimer. This video was made with my own experiences and mental health history in mind, which may not align with your own. I am not a mental health professional by any means, and if you have conditions such as OCD, then these strategies may actually do you more harm than good. Please use this video as a supplement to advice offered from qualified professionals, and always follow the advice of your therapist first and foremost.
If you're looking for the right tips or words to snap away the spiraling thoughts, you're not going to find that here or anywhere. There's motivational videos you can watch to pump you up in the short term, but sustainable strategies take time and practice. It's also important to know that a lot of these strategies aren't the most effective on their own. They weave together into a foundation of confidence that doesn't kill your insecurity for good, but makes you strong enough to overcome it. The battle never ends, but it can get easier. Let's demonstrate how with my favorite strategy of the bunch. Chapter 1, Make It Constructive. One reason why insecurity is so paralyzing is that it's vague. It tells you that your writing sucks without offering any justification for why. But when you know why you're writing or a specific element of it isn't working, it stops becoming an excuse to beat yourself up and instead becomes an opportunity for improvement. Here's a dramatized example of what I mean. Ugh, your writing is so bland. Okay, why is it bland? Because you are a bad writer who can only write boring things. Okay, but what makes it boring? You make it boring. How do I make it boring? If you want me to believe you, wouldn't you want to provide some kind of evidence or justification to support your argument? It's because all your sentences sound the same. Sweet! That means I get to experiment with new sentence lengths and structures. Can't wait to see how my writing improves because of this. Anyone with anxiety will tell you that you can't completely shut down that disparaging voice in your head with rational thought, but it does help. The downside is that the newer you are to writing, the less likely you are to understand, pick up on, and solve the issues in your work. You can only sense that something's wrong, but this will get better the more you write and the more you study your craft. It's a long process, but it's one that will reframe your writing mindset into a much healthier one long term. To get you started, I've linked some of my favorite writing resources in the description down below, and in the comments, I encourage you to share some of your own. One thing to look out for in writing advice is this idea that only some people have the special gift of being a writer. This is bullshit, and it means their advice is no good. They want you to believe that it works no matter what, and if it doesn't, then you're somehow the problem? And what do you know? Suddenly writers everywhere are questioning whether they're meant to be writers, as if that's even a worthwhile question to begin with. Repeat after me. Every writer is self-made. They are made from their study of the craft, the mistakes they learned from, and all the efforts they made to improve. It took me a decade to learn how to write at the level I do now. I wouldn't have anything valuable to teach you if I wasted my time wondering if I was really a writer and did not convert my insecurities into constructive improvement. To practice this, I want you to write one of the insecure thoughts you've had about your writing in a private notebook or document. I want you to then ask, why does this feel true? Until you eventually reach an answer that looks like constructive feedback. Then you can write how you plan to use that constructive feedback to grow as a writer. Please share your results in the comments. I'd love to see so I can recommend some resources. At the same time, turning the cycle of insecurity into a cycle of constant improvement can mean you're stuck in a different cycle and never get anything done. What do you do then? Chapter 2. Embrace the 70% rule. We often hear the age-old advice of let go of perfectionism, but how do we do that? How do you know when good enough is good enough? That's why I love the 70% rule. Your work doesn't have to be 100% perfect, just 70%. The idea is that once you try to make your work more than 70% perfect, you get diminishing returns on your effort. You're spending hours trying to make something 2% better. Not really a great use of your time, especially since you're not learning anything new. But if you accept those imperfections and move on to write another chapter or fanfic, that's when you get the best opportunity to grow and improve. What makes the 70% rule so great is that it encourages you to do your best work while also giving you the grace to be imperfect. It also illustrates the futility of perfection, and I think that is so key. If we pursue perfection, we'll never attain it. If we pursue improvement, we will always obtain it. Let's do another exercise. In the comments, I want you to write a flaw you've noticed in your writing that might not be the most worthwhile to fix, and follow it up with, and that's okay. I'll go first. I can't neatly tie up every single plot thread, and that's okay. Chapter 3. Judge yourself on your own merits. Another big source of insecurity in writers is the urge to compare ourselves to others. This writer is so much better than me. I can't write dialogue like they can. I can't write fluff like they can. I can only be a worse version of them, can I? Maybe even that is being too generous. I think it's human nature to compare ourselves to others sometimes, and in small doses, it can be helpful. I found comparing myself to other writers to be a great springboard for being constructive about my own work. I've also experienced what it's like to read an amazing fanfiction and then look at my own writing and feel so far behind. Since I've had plenty of time to grow as a writer and become a figure of admiration on the internet, I now know what it's like to be the subject of envy. And I can tell you, with my whole heart, that I hate being envied. I hate knowing that when I share my talents with the world, some people are going to see that as yet another reason why they should stop trying. When you catch yourself feeling discouraged by the quality of another writer's work, I want you to think about how they would feel if they knew you felt that way. Do you think they want to be the reason you give up, or would they rather be the inspiration that keeps you going? The key to breaking the cycle of comparison is to judge your work on its own merits. If you ignore every other fanfiction or story out there, what makes your one worthwhile? When you decenter other works, it doesn't matter if someone else's dialogue is better because your dialogue is still witty and authentic. It doesn't matter if someone else's fluff is better because your fluff is still melting your heart into a puddle. In no way does someone else's writing being better make yours any worse. Chapter 4. Let yourself be proud of your work. How come so many of us are so afraid to admit when we're good at something? Is it because we're afraid of being self-absorbed or being perceived as such? To stop that from happening, we should point out all our shortcomings as writers. Can't get knocked down a peg if you're doing it to yourself, right? I'm sorry to tell you this, but that's just another version of being self-absorbed. You may be obsessed with everything bad about yourself, but you're still obsessed with yourself. Because people conflate confidence with arrogance way too often, I think we need a reminder of what confidence in our writing actually looks like. Page 1. Recognizing your own efforts. Writing is hard, especially when you're dedicated to achieving a certain standard of quality. If I have to scrap an entire fight scene and rewrite the whole thing, I get to say, I worked really hard to get a result I'm happy with. Would you call me self-absorbed for saying that? Page 2. Stating what you love about your writing. Do you adore that self-indulgent only one bed scene, or the banter between your blorbos, or the way your prose sweeps you away? You're allowed to say so. I'm proud of this. I love this. It's everything I want out of a fanfiction and I made it. Page 3. Letting others make up their own mind about your work. If someone, real or hypothetical, hates your writing, why does that mean you have to hate it too? You are perfectly capable of having your own thoughts and opinions independent from theirs. As an example, a lot of people think the final showdown of Return of the Jedi is a perfect example of storytelling and character arcs coming to a head, but I think it's deeply flawed in that regard. And no matter how much my boyfriend and I have debated this, we've never changed each other's minds. Self-confidence begins and ends with you. You're taking pride in what you do and judging your work on its own merits. It becomes self-absorption the moment you tell others what they should think about your writing, or when you try to make it look good by tearing down someone else's work. As long as you're not doing that, you're fine, and you get to be as confident as you damn well please. Just like courage is not the absence of fear, but acting in spite of it, confidence is not the absence of insecurity, but expressing your true self anyway. Time for another common exercise. I want you to list 3 things you like about your work. Don't water it down with words like kinda, maybe, I think, sorta, or whatever. Be assertive and unapologetic. I love my plot twists, I love my character arcs, and I love the fight scenes I worked so hard to improve. Chapter 5. Take a compliment. Sometimes when we get positive feedback about our stories, we have a hard time believing it. Why can't they see all these obvious, glaring flaws? Why can't they see how much my writing sucks? They've got to be lying to make me feel better, right? When we catch ourselves thinking like this, the best way to challenge it is to put ourselves in the shoes of the reader. You know what I do when I read a fanfic and decide I don't like it? I click the back button. I don't spend minutes of my short time on Earth making up nice things to say about writing I don't like for someone I don't know. Nope, not even out of pity. Think for a minute. Why would someone bother to go out of their way to pretend to be nice to a random internet stranger? At that point, the only reason why someone commented those nice things was because they genuinely enjoy your writing and want to show you how much they appreciate it. And it's also worth thinking about how the person complimenting your work would feel if you dismissed their kind words. We all live in a busy, moving world where everything is competing for our attention all the time. And this person carved out a moment to not only read your story, but tell you how much they love it. If you tell them that they're wrong or they're just being nice, the message you're sending them is that you think they're a liar or they're too stupid to recognize bad writing. That could discourage them from not only complimenting your work, but the work of other writers as well. In other words, you are going to read my paragraphs of praise and you are going to believe all of it. The cheerleaders we have in life are a blessing, and we should celebrate them whenever we can. In our final comment exercise, I'd like you to share the nicest thing anyone has said about your writing, and also explain a little bit about why it means so much to you. You'll never be able to stop thinking insecure thoughts, but you can learn to stop letting them hold you back. And that's what all 5 of these strategies are here to do. Keep practicing them, and one day you might look back and be surprised by how little that negative voice in your head matters now. Have you tried these strategies? Do you have others that work for you? Let me know in the comments below. Let's build each other up together. And if you're looking for a close-knit community to support you and build your confidence as a fanfic writer, may I recommend the Write Your Dream Fanfiction Discord server. Here we share advice, seek encouragement, and celebrate our little victories. Invite link is in the description. And that's the end of the video. Kudos for watching, kudos for liking, and extra kudos if you've subscribed and hit the bell for more dreamy fanfiction tips. I will see you in my next video. But in the meantime, happy fic writing!